آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد أحبتي في الله. There is exact question I were asked this week 3 times, and today is the 3rd time. So I said maybe it's beneficial to share that with the community. It's regarding the 6 days of Shawwal. Some people, they say, you know what, this is a weak hadith and there's no need to practice that hadith da'if, and they're discouraging people of applying such sunnah. Is it weak hadith? Some scholars, they said it's not in the degree of the hadith sahih or al-hasan, as one of the narrators there, his name Sa'd ibn Sa'id al-Ansari, and sometimes he mix in his riwayah and not always he has the strong hifz, like it's not that strong memory in there. And based on that, they said this is weak hadith. Some scholars of that, and that understood that when you say hadithun sahih, that means dhanni. So let's go back a little bit. هناك صحة يقينية، هناك صحة ظنية. There's something that authentic 100%, and there is something authentic based on rules and condition. If any of those rules and condition messed, or somebody figured there's a gap or holes or there's a problem in that, he might say, you know what, this is weak hadith. And that's why that's understood between scholars. Somebody who will say that authentic hadith and authentic narration, the other one he said it's weak. That's where called the area of dhanni. There's the area of yaqini, no. And the area of yaqini, part of it's hadith al-mutawatir. That's 100% authentic, and nobody would come, even 1,000 years from now, he would say this is weak. Okay, you get the point. But this is not the way how we apply the fiqh. A fiqh beyond this. It's not only just because, oh, this is weak hadith and this is authentic hadith. This is not the point. There are many authentic hadiths, hadithun sahih, and none of the scholars applied. And there are many hadiths are weak and all agree that's weak and all of them apply. Maybe that's confusing you. No, it's not. Because the hadith to be authentic, that's one of the conditions of applying that hadith. That's one of the conditions. But we have to look at the other condition in order to apply that hadith. Is that muhkam or mansukh? Is that hadith abrogated or still you apply it? Because some hadith that only was for a certain period of time, but then other rules came after. Or other condition is there. So there are 4 main conditions. One of them, the hadith is authentic or not. But then we have to ask ourselves other, condition. Maybe that's hadith authentic. However, there's another hadith in the same subject that's higher degree than this one. So in this case, which one we apply? The one is a higher degree. Even this one is authentic. So it's not only the hadith authentic, that's a blindly way of practice that hadith. And in the same, point, that doesn't mean it's a weak hadith, that means we neglect it. No. When you say hadithun da'if, which means not rejected. The rejected one, the fabricated one, the hadithun mawdu', where contain a liar in there, or there's no any way that to connect it to the Prophet ﷺ. That could be. But when I say weak hadith, that means acceptable with a certain condition. So sahih, that you accept it, generally speaking, but the one is weak, you applied it with all of those conditions there. Allah yashtadda da'fu, it's not that weak to the point that there is a liar in the narration, or a person that was rejected. Okay, la yashtadda da'fu, it's not that weak, could be there's certain level of weakness. And that has a strong basis in Sharia. Maybe talking about fasting, so we already have that chapter. It's not initiating a new area or new practice. It's within the practice. And that practice in fada'il al-a'mal, in the actions that be encouraged to do more from it. And do not think if it's weak hadith that for sure the Rasul said it or have done that action. And when you narrate it in the passive voice, not in active voice, so-called sighat tamrid, so it was narrated. It was said. Do not say the Prophet ﷺ said, because you're not sure 100% that he said it. So this is certain adab and manners and condition applying that hadith. And in that regard, there are many ahadith that in the sunnah that we practice that's actually is not that strong in terms of narrations. Okay, so that's one thing. The acceptance of the scholars and the fuqaha has to be considered. As I said, there are many ahadith that are weak. All of them agree that it's not that strong narration, but all of them practice that. And I could mention some of that. لا طلاق في إغلاق إذر الحدود بالشبهات الماء لا ينجسه إلا ما غير طعمه ونونه وريحه. There are some conditions that main rules in many subjects in Sharia, and all scholars agreed to practice those ones. Why is that? Why to practice? Because they don't look at the single narration many times. They look at many other things. Now when you have a single narration that is weak, but that hadith was narrated from other way, with other narrator, or there are similar hadith, they call it shahid or taba, that's supporting this idea and that hadith. Then, even looking at that hadith by itself, it's a weak narration, it's not going to say that it's a weak hadith. That will be elevated in another position. They call it hasanu li ghayrihi. And the hasan li ghayrihi, all scholars accept that level of narration. So when you look at one single narration, you might say that's weak. But by looking at the other in the same subject, that will elevate the status of the hadith. They called hasanu li ghayrihi. Sahihun taqawwa. So it's da'ifun taqawwa. So when that's weak narration, but supported by others, that now we should not continue saying it's weak by looking at one individual narration, but that's taking another position. Am I clear? So far, so good? Yes. So, is any other narration? Yes. This narration was mentioned in Sahih Muslim. There's a mention of it in Sahih Bukhari. And there's mention of it in many other books of Sunnah by narration of Jabir, by the narration of Abu Ayyub, and many of the other Sahaba. So it's not only one single narration. Even saying there's a narrator there, it's not that authentic. However, many of other scholars, they said that's fine. We accept the narration of that narrator. Like Imam Bukhari accepted that he narrated one hadith where that narrator mentioned there in one of the chain of narration in his book. So we have to consider that. It's not only just, weak hadith, that means we neglect it and we don't practice in this. Can you name to me one of the highest and the strongest collections of hadith al-sahih? What's the top? The collection, the best collection of hadith sahih? Sahih al-Bukhari. Imam Bukhari, after his book of hadith, he wrote another book called Al-Adab al-Mufrad. Do you have any idea about Al-Adab al-Mufrad? Have you read that book? That book full of ahadith da'ifa, full of weak narrations. Majority of it, weak narrations. He's the same Imam that had a collection of Sahih, Hadith Sahih. He's the same one presented for us Hadith Da'if in other book. What that means, the message is saying, do not just consider Hadith Sahih and throw all of other Hadith Da'if. No, the Hadith Da'if still can be accepted within the conditions. You get the point? Yeah. So it doesn't mean, we neglected. When you say Imam Ahlul Sunnah, and one of the scholars that he has that title. There's many Imams Ahlul Sunnah, but one of the famous Imam Ahlul Sunnah is Imam who? Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad, he wrote a book called Al-Musnad. Kitab al-Musnad, the largest collection of hadith, the largest one, 30,000 hadith. And it's full of hadith da'if. Majority of hadith are da'if. And he's Imam Ahl Sunnah. And one of his main rules in fiqh, that he will give authority of hadith da'if over the strong qiyas. Qiyas, the analogic reasoning, which really one of the sources of tashri'. He will give authority and power to the weak hadith over qiyas. Qiyas al-sahih. That's Imam Ahl Sunnah. What I want to say, do not just say, oh, this is authentic hadith, oh, we practice this. This is weak hadith, we go over this. No. We have to differentiate between ad-dalil wa fiqh ad-dalil. The evidence and how you practice that evidence. Now, if you're sick, you go first to the pharmacy or you go to the doctor's office. Huh? Doctor office. So the one he's going immediately to hadith, he's like the example going first to the pharmacy and neglecting the doctor. Yes, you can go to the pharmacy for something doesn't need prescription, just for this on counter or over counter. But something need a prescription. Even the pharmacist that gave to you, that he did something illegal. He did something wrong. Similarly, you get the fiqh from somebody give you the narration, the hadith, that's something wrong. You should not go that. You should go for faqih. The faqih, he will look at both evidence and look at that. Because the pharmacist, he might not see the differences when you tell him, I have these symptoms. But these symptoms, it might be similar to other kind of disease. Is that problem? That clear, yeah? So similarly for the faqih, he will look at the evidence with different lens, not like, the muhaddith, he will look at it. So do not jump and say, this is weak hadith. Oh, do not practice this. Do not do that. Do you think all those scholars, they don't know that it's a weak or not? You are the one who knows that? Imam al-Nasa'i and Imam al-Tirmidhi, in their book of Sunnahs, they include many hadith da'if in there. They know that's hadith da'if. And themselves, they made a comment in this. This is Hasanun Sahih, Sahih, Hasan Da'if. Themselves, they know that. And they practice those hadiths because they understand other facts and other factors. The one will jump to take the evidence directly from Quran and Sunnah, and he will give himself authority to interpret it with his own. It's like the one jumping to the ocean and he doesn't know how to dive. Not every person that he wants to eat fish, he will go to fish by himself or to go to the ocean. We go to Walmart to get the fish. We are not doing Walmart. Walmart now we boycott them. We go to a fish market to get fish, not to ocean. Is that right? Yes. So, yes, if you will go, that's an easy way. Somebody has the tools, brought it to you. The faqih and the one who understands fiqh and usul fiqh, he's the one who has the tools. He brought it easier to you. Which, in other words, will you be more than safe to follow their understanding, those scholars, their understanding of Quran and Sunnah? That's better for you that just you follow your understanding of Quran and Sunnah. Because you are not in their level of understanding. Now you will compare yourself and say, you know what? How come Imam Malik said that? Oh, I know I will say that. I will look at the Quran and Sunnah. It's not the point. When you follow the opinion of Imam Malik, that means you're following his understanding of Quran and Sunnah and respecting that because he's more qualified than you to look at the Quran and Sunnah. Because you look at the Quran and Sunnah, it's narrow. It's only in that particular hadith, not in the other. It will be amazing if I share with you that question. It's amazing. But next time, you're amazing. That same question. One person went through like in scholars, 4 or 5 scholars, asking them, هل يصح البيع مع الشرط? Look at it. You can you sell the product with making condition or not. You make a condition for the person. Like you said, you know what? I'm selling you my donkey, but you have to take me back home. You take me like, you give me the ride. Can you do that or not? One scholar, he said, you can. One other, he said, no. Other can say this case. The other one, he said, in the other case. One other case. They came to Imam Malik. He said, you can for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He brought all those exceptions and all of these cases in one point. Because he looked at all of those ahadiths. The other ones looked at one single hadith. And one of them said no. One said yes for that reason. The other one said yes for other reason. So let's respect, that. And to conclude this, we have to humble ourselves and know our limitation. And give the credit for those they deserve to be credited, those scholars in the past. The whole ummah, they give them the credit. Why we are neglecting their effort? So when you study fiqh, please do not just take the fiqh from one single hadith or one single ayah. The fiqh is not the fiqh. Fiqh has a way to study it. And now when we're talking about fuqaha, none of them disagree that's part of the sunnah to fast the 6 days of Shawwal. Yes, maybe some of them, they didn't encourage people to publicize that. Especially Imam Malik, kariha, he disliked the one people following his opinion that to publicize that he's fasting those 6 days of Shawwal. Why? Because people, they might think it's must. As I have met some people, they think it's must to fast those 6 days of Shawwal. They are not able, and they insist to fast it. That's where Imam Malik, he disliked. Yes, we know majority people, they have clear understanding, but still. So, looking at that, none of them said, no, you cannot fast it. Just as I said, Imam Malik, for that reason and that illah, that's all. Others, actually, they encourage people to fast those 6 days of Shawwal. So let's be careful when we pass any information to other people, and even with a good intention. I know people have good intention. We're not accusing any person intention, but this is not the point. Doesn't mean that you have good intention, that means you have good action. And may Allah give us the best of understanding. اللهم علمنا ما جهلنا وذكرنا ما نسينا وفقهنا في ديننا واجعلنا من عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون احسنه اولئك الذين هداهم الله.